I figure you thought at this point in the calendar year, you thought you'd probably still be covering playoff basketball. But because of those Knicks, the Boston Celtics are on vacation now, lining up tea times and flights or whatever you want if you're a Celtics player. Brad Stevens talked Monday. You were there. If you could summarize it for people that haven't read your story on The Athletic, what would you say?
Everything's in flux right now. He actually started the press conference by basically urging reporters not to ask about the future, which is a weird move at an end of season press conference. Nothing I've ever seen from Brad before. But basically, they were going to have to consider significant changes anyway because of the salary cap reality coming for them. But when Jason Tatum went down, it changes the calculus on all those decisions. It changes perhaps, the perspective on next season. And, Al Horford a month ago said that he wanted to keep playing. Then a few days ago hinted that he might consider retirement this offseason. So that could be one of the dominoes to fall from the Tatum thing. And then you got to look at everything else through a different lens. Like Drew Holiday, 34. By the time Jason Tatum gets back and is fully healthy, he could be 36 years old. So do you trade him? Do you explore the market for him at least? Like all these decisions are things that they would have thought about anyway, but now they have to just look at everything differently because of the Jason Tatum injury, how long it's going to take him to recover, and the reality that at least for next season, assuming he does come back next season, if he does, that he probably won't be in top form and they probably won't be true contenders.
Yeah, and then you throw in Porzingis with what happened in the playoffs. Now he's on an expiring contract, and we mentioned one more year. So then you're left trying to figure out, okay, if they run most of this back, what are they? In a weak conference for the most part. We think it's still going to be a weak East. What are they? And then the elephant in the room is ownership, which I'm sure that's why Brad Stevens made that comment. Please don't ask about the future. Maybe he's not quite sure what new ownership wants to do moving forward. Do you think that's a bigger factor than any of this?
I think that's certainly a factor. And not necessarily that, like by all indications, the new owner wants to keep business as usual. Everybody said that he's willing to pay for a winner, but it could change his thinking about next season too. Like, if they keep the current roster together, it would be about $500 million, including luxury tax. That was never going to be tenable, I don't think, to any owner, including a new one. But now you have Jason Tatum injured, and so the price that you were willing to pay for this roster to contend for a championship next season might be different now. You might look at that differently. So that's absolutely a factor too. How much is Bill Chisholm going to okay for this salary cap of the Celtics next season?
When Brad talked about the head coach, Missoula, what was the tone there? I think Joe is in a very weird spot because when the shots go in, he's a genius. When they don't, he's a dud. It's a very polarizing opinion. I mean, the truth is probably in the middle. But what did we hear about Missoula at the presser?
He said that Joe's done a great job. They're thankful to have him and the staff. And I would fight back a little bit about the 3-point thing. I think he actually, like under him, they've made so many strides in other directions. They became one of the best turnover rate teams. So they took care of the ball as well as anybody. They became a much better offensive rebounding team these last couple of seasons. They foul opponents as rarely as just about anybody. So they are working on the margins to try to give themselves other ways to win beyond just shooting threes. If you have that roster and everybody on your roster can shoot threes, you'd be stupid not to have them launch a ton of shots. And I think the Porzingis injury or illness especially, it took away one of their ways to score inside, one of their ways to slow it down and pound you in the post. And his ineffectiveness was a big deal for them, especially in that New York Knicks series.